Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and welcome to AI Agents, your business on autopilot. My name is Michelle Eisenberg, and I am a program assistant here at the NASDAQ Entrepreneurial Center. And for those of you who may not know, the NASDAQ Center is a nonprofit improving access and knowledge in entrepreneurship to advance economic progress for all. So as you will see in the chat in just a moment, the NASDAQ Center provides programs, resources, and exceptional mentorship to help entrepreneurs fuel prosperity no matter where their journey begins. And so be sure to check out all those links and resources shared in the chat. And we are going to launch a few polls just to step back, take a temperature gauge on how everyone is doing today. And we use this information to guide the programs we provide for this global community of entrepreneurs. And so if there's any specific topics or challenges you would like us to create resources for, definitely feel free to share them in the chat. And then just a couple of housekeeping notes before we get started. First, let us know where you are dialing in from in the chat. We always love to connect. We always love to see where everyone's joining us for our time together today. And second, we are going to have live Q&A at the end of the event, so feel free to submit your questions at any time using that Q&A function at the bottom of your screen, and we will do our best to get to as many as we can. Now, while you are answering, I would just like to take a moment and recognize the incredible support of our corporate partners. The work that we do at the center wouldn't be possible without the generosity and belief of our partners and funders, including NASDAQ, Wells Fargo, KPMG, JP Morgan Chase, Wilson Sonsini, Walmart, the Narit Foundation, and BPM. We are deeply grateful for their partnership, and we hope you will join us in sharing that appreciation. All right, now we are going to see how everyone's feeling. Are we fearful, anxious, surviving, or optimistic? Let's see it. Give it a few moments there. Awesome. Looks like we got folks from all over the place, across the world, across the country. Welcome, welcome to everyone dialing in from wherever you are. Awesome. Give this poll another moment. All right. And what is keeping you up at night? Is it finance, sales, marketing, scale, pivot, team, or surviving? And this one guides future programs that we have in the works for all of you. Awesome. Thank you all so much. All right. Now, without any further delay, please join me in giving the warmest welcome to our special guest, Nelly Yusupova, founder and CTO of Wellbeing Inc. and creator of Tech Speak for Entrepreneurs. Nelly, so excited to have you here with us today, especially for such an important topic, and I am going to pass it right over to you.
Thank you, Michelle. It's so great to be here. I am looking forward to sharing lots and lots of information today about AI and how we can all as businesses leverage our AI for good. We were talking about AI being able to create a lot of fear in a lot of people, but today we're going to talk about all the amazing things that AI can do. So if you have any questions, please submit them and we will address them at the end. I have a action-packed session here. So I'd love to get you guys participating. I'm going to be also asking you questions through the chat. I'm keeping an eye on the chat, and let's get started. So drop an emoji in the chat if you have a to-do list that never ends, if you wear 17 hats, and if you've had one more hour in your day, you will be using it to answer your emails that you've been ignoring for 2 weeks. Oh, I think as founders, right, we always are struggling with these things because we are bouncing. Our brains are constantly bouncing between sales and operations and technology and marketing and so much more. Um, but what if you could clone your brain? What if you could create a digital assistant that doesn't sleep, that doesn't get tired, or runs parts of your business on autopilot? Well, that's not a pipe dream anymore because that's what AI agents make possible. Today, I'm going to walk you through how many entrepreneurs are using AI not just to sound smarter in emails, but to automate real business processes, to scale faster, and to grow leaner. For those of you who don't know me, I am Nelly Yusupova. I'm a fractional CTO with over 18 years of experience leading companies to technical excellence. I'm a co-founder in a well-being startup. I'm also the creator of Tech Speak for Entrepreneurs, and I've worked with thousands of entrepreneurs, helping them strategically implement technology and help them minimize technology mistakes. One of the things that you guys need to know about me is that I do not like to tell people to go and use technology for technology's sake. How many of you have the shiny object syndrome? Drop an emoji in the chat. When there's a zillion tools that are out there, and you're like, I got to try this, and I got to try this, and I got to try that. And so for the next 15 minutes, I'm actually going to help you share how to strategically implement technologies and not just have technology drive you in 1,000 different directions, but you are trying to solve real business problems using technology. And AI is now a new tool in our technology stack. So over the next 40 minutes, I will help you break down the AI landscape from prompts to GPTs to agents. I will share real examples of how businesses are saving time, money, and sanity. I will also share a simple framework to help you choose the right AI tools for your business and the confidence to stop overthinking and start using AI like a boss. Hopefully, you're all excited. So if you've been wondering how AI fits into your business, or if you're overwhelmed by all the tools that are flying around, you are in the right room. Now, raise your hand if you have started using AI in some capacity. Drop an emoji in the chat. Shout out, so like most of us, without even realizing, have used AI for many, many years, right? AI is not anything new. Uh, if you've used Google search for something or listened to a Spotify playlist that was perfectly curated for your taste, or you watched a Netflix series that was recommended just for you, that's AI. Companies have been using a segment of AI called machine learning for decades now. But something has changed in the field of AI in the past few years. We've entered the age of generative AI. Machine learning is about teaching machines to learn from specific data. Generative AI is about creating something brand new, whether it's text or images or audio or video, based on real world data that the AI was trained on. So you can give it an input like generate an email for me, right? And then the AI, based on its knowledge, will generate an output. And that is something that is brand new. And I just wanted for you to understand that AI is nothing new, and that this new generative AI is what makes all of these things that we're going to talk about possible now. And ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, They are a subset. These are the companies that create different models and applications based on generative AI technology that has now been available to us. Does that make sense? I just wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page. So now when people say AI, they could be talking about anything from writing an email to building a robot that runs your entire business. But this is how I look at the AI landscape. Think of it as a ladder. I call it the AI ladder. And you don't have to start at the top. Your goal is not to get to the top. Your goal is to figure out what problems am I facing right now, and just figure out the what makes sense for your business based on your specific situation. And the best part is that you can ascend and descend this ladder to use any one of these in any combination at any given time. At the very first level, we have out of the box AI tools, prompt engineering, and custom GPTs. All of these will help you optimize yourself and your team's abilities with AI. This is where you will start to speed up your daily work, streamline small tasks, and understand how AI can supercharge your productivity. So, as you climb your ladder, you will begin to automate entire workflows to cut down on repetitive tasks and start to free up your time and your team's time to be able to do these things. AI agents will help you make decisions based on instructions that they're given in real time, dynamically adjusting based on the specific situation. Now you're not going to be just optimizing, you're now actually eliminating entire workflows, right? In actual tasks, manual work that you're doing. And that is really exciting. And finally, at the very top of the ladder, this is where you can actually build custom software that will actually not only help you optimize your team's ability and eliminate tasks, but you can also create new revenue streams. As we will talk about this AI ladder for the next 30 minutes or so, I will break down how you can use each one of these to your advantage, right? As we go up the ladder, as I mentioned, you can use all of these at the same time, but the effort to be able to implement them is going to be higher. That's the only difference. So I hope you're all on the same page with me, and let's keep going and actually break down how each one of these can be used and leveraged in your business. So let's go through AI tools that you can use, out of the box AI tools that are at the bottom of our AI ladder. And there's so many tools. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share some examples of tools that you can use for business uses, right? And then I'm going to share an example of places where you can find more tools. But out of the box tools are at the bottom because they require very little effort to set up and get started. So these solutions allow you to very quickly reap the benefits of AI because all you have to do is create an account and you're ready to go. So again, I'm going to share some of my favorite tools that I think a lot of businesses that solve problems for a lot of businesses that take the most amount of time. And then and then I'll share where you can find these tools as well. So video is probably one of the most time-consuming tasks for businesses. So this tool, GetMunch, at getmunch.com, you can use to streamline your video editing. You can give it long form content and it will automatically cut it into short, engaging clips for your YouTube Shorts, your Instagram Reels, and TikTok. It will automatically extract the most engaging moments in your videos and create shareable high impact videos that you can use. So imagine giving it a 1 hour video and getting 4 or 5 clips that it actually knows based on the most engaging moments that will be shareable by other people. It also overlays keyword analysis to help you boost discoverability on these platforms and will auto generate captions, which enhance and will allow you to create accessibility and enhance your reach. Right? This is something that would normally take you hours to do, but using a tool like GetMunch can help cut down that time to minutes, right? The next tool I want to mention is Captions AI. It's another video tool that will takes it a step further with AI powered editing. All you need to do is upload your raw footage, choose an editing style, and hit generate, and AI will do the rest. It will automatically apply elements like zoom in, B-roll, and graphics. And if any of you have ever done video editing, this takes hours, right? It takes a lot of creativity to decide where to zoom in. And if you know how to produce videos, they tell you that you need to make a change every 30 seconds, right? So AI will automatically do that for you. It also, for those of you who talk and can't look at the camera, it will make it artificially look like you're always looking at the camera. So if your eyes are over there, like you're reading a script, it will make it so that you're looking at the camera all the time. And it can generate videos with your own AI twin. So for those of you who are shy to be on camera, what you can do is give it a 5 minute clip. It will create an AI twin for you. And then you can create and add audio to be able to now generate videos that are you, but that's your digital AI twin. Does that make sense? Like these are all real world things that you can actually do that sounds like science fiction, but it's not. And it can save you hours, if not days, of your team's time to be able to make something happen. Okay. So a lot of these probably have a free tier, right? But Joyce, the way that it's a great question. So Joyce asked, are these free or paid type of AI tools? The way that you should figure out whether a tool is worth it for you or not is how much time are you actually saving, right? So let's say you had to pay an editor to be able to edit your videos and you paid them, I don't know, $500 to do your editing. Now this AI tool, let's say, costs even $150 a month. You're still saving a lot of money because now not only are you able to do 10 times the work, you're actually cutting down on the cost of what it would actually cost you to be able to produce more videos because the costs are set, right? So that's the way I would like for you to think about it. So calculate the cost. Yes, these tools will cost money because AI is very expensive to run, but always figure out how much am I actually going to pay someone else to do it? And is this worth it? At the end of the day, it's always going to still save you a lot of time and money, even though you have to pay for these tools. Okay? Great question. If you want to, nope, I think I skipped one. Nope, there we go. You can now create a podcast without ever recording it. You can also use napkin.ai to instantly generate visuals from your text. So you can actually copy and paste a whole bunch of text, select a paragraph, and just instantly generate a visual that will support what your text is saying. Again, these are very creative tasks and take sometimes a lot of time and energy to generate. And a lot of designers or a lot of entrepreneurs who are not designers, they can instantly be able to communicate better, right? and do all of these things a lot more efficiently. AI meeting assistants. How many of you use an AI meeting assistant? If you're not, you should be starting right now. Okay. You should be recording all of your conversations for two reasons. Number one, the AI will create something like this. See, you guys have a meeting purpose, key takeaways, topics, and at the end, my AI fathomed that video will generate action items for me. So that's a lot of time saved. But as we are going to talk about in the second part of this presentation, data is going to help us figure out how to be like, we have to feed AI data so it can get to know us better. So if you can use some of these meeting transcripts to actually train your AI later, that's going to actually help you even more to be able to create personalized experiences because it's now going to understand your business processes, how you talk, what you say, and you don't even have to generate this, right? This is already being generated for you in your meeting recordings. Great. All of these, like a lot of these AI assistants, right? Meeting assistants, they do a lot of very similar things. So pick the one that you like the best. I like Fathom that video and I've started using it. And so now I'm using it. But there is Fireflies and other tools like that. Okay. Start using these digital assistants to generate the content so you can train AI, as we talk about in the more advanced sessions, to be able to generate more and more personalized conversations. Okay. There are so many out-of-the-box tools. I'm going to share two AI tool directories, futuretools.io and aitooldirectory.com, that you can go and try to figure something out, or like which tool do I use. Now, when you're picking tools, don't just pick tools because they are like the shiny object syndrome, right? Start with the problem. What problem am I solving, or what problem do I have that I need a solution to? And then you go try to find the tool that does it. Okay, so that's so always start with a problem and then pick the tools. There's a ton of tools out there, and sometimes you have a specific problem, and one tool is going to solve that specific problem that you have a lot better, even though they do the same similar things. The way that you phrase your problem and what's important to you is going to be more appropriate. That specific tool would be more appropriate for you to be able to achieve what it is that you need. Does that make sense? All right, so let's go to prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is super critical for interacting with AI systems and unlocking the true potential of LLMs. LLM stands for large language models. I'm sure, drop an emoji if you've heard of or have heard of LLMs before, right? So ChatGPT uses a large language model, right? So let's get, before we keep moving forward, let's actually understand what LLMs actually do. Okay? LLMs don't actually think, they don't learn from your data. All they do is they predict. So LLMs, I say, are the world's best guessing machines. It is the most sophisticated autocomplete. Well, when you upload a bunch of data to an LLM, right? That's going to be your input, and you tell it to learn from your document. It's not actually absorbing your knowledge like a human would. It's building something called a context map to better predict the next word or phrase. That's going to be your output. So AI doesn't learn, AI predicts. So I just want you to understand this concept, because that's what, in order for you to get valuable answers out of AI and large language models, the input has to be good. I don't know if you've heard garbage in, garbage out anywhere. That's the phrase that people use, right? The input of how you ask, that's prompt engineering. The prompt that you give it is, if it's efficient, you're going to get much better output. So, in order for you to get really good outputs, your inputs have to be specific, they have to be concise, and you have to set the right context, right? You have to be clear about what it is that you want, and because the model can only guess based on what you provide. Okay? That is why prompt engineering isn't just important, it is foundational to unlocking the real power of AI. And no matter what you're going to do with AI, besides using out of the box tools, you're going to really need to get really good at prompting. Okay. And one of my favorite prompting frameworks is what I call the awe prompting framework. Act as if, who is it for, what it needs to do, and what do you need for me to complete this task. So let's go through an actual example. So, act as if you're a growth marketing specialist for a SaaS startup focused on lead generation solutions. Who is it for? B2B sales teams and startup founders looking to optimize their lead generation process and increase conversion rates. Note how specific my asks are, right? And what do you need it to do? Then you write the exact thing in detail on what you need it to do, okay? And then this last question, what do you need me to complete this task? Prompts the AI to ask you a ton of questions to be able to do a really good job, right? So the AI will actually prompt you with questions, which is why I like this prompting framework, is you kind of set the context, you prime it, but then you don't have to give it all the details, right? Sometimes you may not even think or know what you need to do in order to get a good input, right? So by asking this question, you're actually letting the AI prompt you back and ask you a whole bunch of questions that you can just supply, because it's easier to answer questions than know what you're not thinking about. And then you're going to go back and forth with AI to be able to get the result or the output that you need. And this is the super hack. Okay, the super hack is, what is the exact prompt? So after you go the back and forth, at the end of it, by asking this question, what is the exact prompt that I would need to give you the next time to get this result? Who can tell me, what is this going to do? Type your answer in the chat. Who can tell me, what is asking this question going to do? It will give you, Joyce is saying, it will give you the prompt so you can regenerate it. Exactly. And that's going to save you hours, right? Because so you now put in the very first time, put in hours of work of getting the exact prompt that you need. And now the AI will summarize and will give you the exact prompt that you will need to type, so you don't have to have the back and forth the next time to get the same exact output, right? That's why I call it the super hack. And then you can save that prompt in your prompts library. And there you go. The next time you're not spending a ton of time getting to the same result. Does that make sense? This is why knowing how to use and prompt and like buying prompts from other people is not necessarily like valuable, because you can use some of these frameworks to generate your own prompts and then reuse them over and over and over again. Okay. All right. I love that. Let's keep going. Custom GPTs. The next step in the ladder is custom GPTs. these will allow you to tailor AI to your business's specific needs. Okay? GPTs allow you to train your AI, to train ChatGPT on your internal data, on your processes, and your specific voice. It has a narrow focus, so it will give you much better results than just asking the GPT that was trained on the whole world. It will give you better outcome and better results over time because it will continue, as you interact with it, it will continue to what? To predict better, right? A lot of people would say learn about you and your business, right? But we already learned that AI doesn't learn. It just helps, it builds a better context map about us, about our business, so that it can predict a lot better for you. Okay? And it can seamlessly connect to third-party services, even your own databases and APIs. So let's break this down. Imagine having a chatbot trained on your frequently asked questions, your product documents, or onboarding processes. Now, your assistant or your intern and your customer support people can get answers 24/7. So, whether you put it out to the public or you use it internally, you can use some of these tools to be able to share knowledge, whether either internally or with your customers, to get the information that they need without having to come to you for all of the questions. Okay, so let's go through an example, and you can create company persona GPTs, sales proposal GPTs, content writer GPTs, sales and marketing preparation GPT, a marketing guru GPT, and so much more. Like you can literally, like the possibilities are endless, right? And no code is required. You just structure your information, plug it in, and you've got your AI assistant. So here's an example that I'm going to share with you. And this example will allow you to create, this is an example for my GPT called Facebook Ad Genius. Okay, so I gave it the name and the description. I gave it the actual prompt, suggested conversation starters, and this is the key. Right here we have upload your data for AI to use. The data, the knowledge here that you are uploading, that is going to create the narrow focus for your GPT. Instead of now knowing the world's information and trying to get it from there, you're saying, no, 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 only look at this knowledge that I'm giving you. Okay, so that is, Jennifer is asking, are you creating this all in ChatGPT? Absolutely. So custom GPTs are a function within ChatGPT. It allows you to narrowly train based on your own knowledge base within ChatGPT. Absolutely. So then you can use your choose your capabilities, web browsing, whatever. I usually just select everything. And you also have the option to connect third-party services. So let's break down these. Most of these are self-explanatory. The two we're going to focus on are the upload your data and the third-party services, right? The upload your data, here, not upload your data. The knowledge base is going to be coming from you, but the prompt and the third-party services. So here, there we go. Sorry, I have a lot of stuff going on my screen and I have to switch and cannot click automatically. So in order for you to, for the prompting, right? Here are your instructions. In order for you to create a prompt that actually does something, the framework that I like to use is called Craft, right? So Craft is context, this is where you will provide background information or the setting for the task, mention any specific events, a launch or objective driving the need. Then you're going to specify the role, like the persona or the expertise that you want the AI to adopt. And of course, be as specific as possible about your industry or specialization. And action is going to help you define the main objective of the task and define the constraints, the styles, the tone. The format is going to allow you to structure and specify the structure and the layout of the response, right? Is it going to be bullet points, step by step, table, etc.? And finally, the target audience. The target audience is going to help you specify which group or persona the context is intended for. And again, be very, very clear about the role, the industry, the experience level. But this is going to generate a very long prompt that is very structured and detailed, and that will yield really good outputs. Okay, and guess what? I created a GPT that helps me generate these great prompts based on this framework. Okay, these are the types of things that you can do more and more of if you are able to understand how to use prompting, right? So I created a craft prompting GPT that helps me, based on specific input, generate a specific prompt with context, role, action, format, and target audience by also asking me questions back and forth, etc. Okay, so that's the actually the prompt part, the instructions part of the GPT. And finally, the GPT actions, right? The GPT actions, which is this last part here, where you can connect your GPT to third parties. GPT custom actions will allow you to get data that is stored in third-party platforms like Zendesk and Google Drive, or even your own relational database, and allow your GPTs to search and retrieve live information, allow you to get access to, allow GPT to access your internal documents, provide real-time insights to GPTs, right? And this is a way for you to go from just answering questions to executing real business operations in real time, making your GPT a lot smarter. So if your information is living somewhere else, it's going to be easier for you to connect these services. And the technology that we're going to be using, to connect to these services is going to be what? Who can tell me what is the technology that we're going to be using? What allows services to talk to each other? APIs, exactly, Sonu. Yes, absolutely. You guys are right. APIs are the key. APIs allow different services to talk to each other and send data back and forth. APIs act as a bridge, and they let GPTs know where to pull the data from for your business systems. Okay? Excellent. So GPTs are really powerful, and all three of these AI tools, prompting and GPTs will allow you, hopefully you can see how it will help you optimize yourself and your team's abilities with AI. Okay, now let's go and take it up a notch, and we'll talk about workflow automations that will allow you to streamline and optimize and scale your business. How many of you have heard of tools like Make, Zapier, N8N, and other similar tools, workflow automation tools? Great. So some of you have heard of it, right? So these tools already existed. So with Zapier, here's an example of something you can do for those of you who have not heard of it. So when you get a new customer through that pays you through Stripe, you can automatically, there we go, add them to your MailChimp mailing list. You can tag them as a customer and add them to an email sequence based on the specific product that they bought. You can also use a tool called Lead Score in Zapier to obtain information about the customer using their specific email address that they paid you on Stripe for. And then using this tool will go out and will search what type of business this person works for, what country they live in, how many staff they have, etc., etc., etc. You can save that information to a spreadsheet, and you can use that information to create an additional workflow that says, if this company has more than 50 staff, send me an email. Or better yet, create a new task in Trello, your project management software, so that you can manually reach out to this person because they are a high value customer for you. And all of this is done completely what I call automagically, without any human intervention. Right? So these are the types of things that you can do without any human intervention. Here's another example of a lead generation and enrichment workflow. Here you can see that you can layer in AI, and suddenly your workflow becomes smart. So the difference between the workflow automations of 3 years ago versus now is that workflow automations used to be predefined steps of what you wanted to do. Now you can have AI using generative AI, receive an input, analyze it, do something with it, and then pass this information to the next tool. Okay, so now you have smarter, so much more focused, different workflows that you can do. Let's look at another example. Here you have a workflow that generates blog posts, and we can see AI processing information multiple times to produce high quality content. So one AI here processes the information here, passes it to the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. Does that make sense? Isn't that exciting? Like, how many of you, for those of you who are, for this is completely new, this is something brand new that you learned just today. Drop an emoji in the chat if this is something brand new for you, because this will open up a lot of doors if you know how to use and leverage these systems. Okay, so you can create a very smart automation without now completely, there you go. I love this. Excellent. Here's a social media automated posting flow. No, this is very complex, right? But you can now create these and then eventually completely eliminate some of these tasks. And I hope you're excited about it because now you know what's possible with these tools. Okay, let's dive even deeper. AI agents. This is where your business can be completely on autopilot. What we have here is a workflow built in a tool called N8N. And this is an example of an AI agent that auto labels and drafts incoming emails, right? So this is a workflow that when you pass in information, it looks at the email and it automatically will label it. So if it's a transactional, if it's an invoice or a receipt, is it a cold outreach? Is this a sponsorship request, QA, etc., right? And the AI looks at it, looks at the content of the email, and then it will automatically label smartly based on the contents of the email, the AI itself is deciding the route each email should take based on the content. That's the most important thing. In this workflow, it's not a hard-coded decision tree, right? AI is driving the logic. The AI is doing the routing based on real-time interpretation of the data. And a lot of people look at this setup and they say, that's an AI agent, right? Because it's smart. And there's no specific decision route, right? This is not a specific workflow. But it is not. This is not a true agent. This is a dynamic automation, not an agent, because it is still a predefined flow. We've mapped out the pathways ahead of time, and AI can only go down the paths that we created. It can't define brand new routes, right? So in this case, even though this is now more advanced automation, it is still not an AI agent. Think of it as a smart router, right? So these are dynamic automations. AI agents are different. They don't just follow a path, they create the path. An AI agent is a system that uses a large language model to dynamically decide what actions to take in what specific order and which tools that it can use. So let's look at an example. You'll need to provide an AI agent 3 things. The model, right? This is the large language model that will drive the agent's understanding. You need to give it memory, which will give it the context from past interactions that will inform decisions. And you also need to give it tools. These could be APIs, external systems, specific custom applications, your own applications, right? Things that it can use to do the actions. And after that, it is all the AI. Let me show you how it works in practice. So here we have a chat agent, right? This is something that you could put on your website. And it is functioning as an intelligent chat assistant. So when the user sends a message into the chat and says, hey, can you book me a meeting on Monday, March 24th, 2025? The AI agent doesn't just follow a rigid path. It decides based on its own logic that it needs to check the date, that it needs to call the Google Calendar API, that it needs to ask for the start and end times because you didn't mention that in your query, plus for the meeting title that you want, and then book the event and send back the confirmation message. Does that make sense? There is no predefined workflow. AI is doing and deciding which tools to call in what order and actually executes the tasks in real time. This is why AI agents are game changing. You're not just automating tasks, you're enabling true intelligent decision making in real time. It's as though you told your intern or your assistant to do specific tasks and it does it on your behalf. Do we all understand the difference between smart automations, smart workflows, and AI agents? Because we're going to keep going. We're going to keep diving in. I just want to make sure I didn't lose anybody. Excellent. Great. So AI agents are really, really, really powerful. But we're still in the early days. And using AI agents come with trade-offs that make them less ideal for mission-critical business processes right now. What are some of the problems? There's unpredictability. Unlike traditional flows, agents make real-time decisions, and this introduces variability. It's great for flexibility, but not so great for predictability, right? This is what is important. If you need predictable systems, you should probably be using more things around smart automations, dynamic automations, rather than true agents. They also have higher error rates. Out of 100 processes, you can expect 1 to 5 failures, right? You also will have debugging challenges. When something goes wrong, it's not always going to be clear where or why something happened because the logic was generated dynamically by an LLM, right? So you can't exactly ask it what caused you to make this decision. So that's why for critical, again, mission critical operations, AI agents are not there yet. And how many of you have heard of hallucinations? AI's hallucinating, right? Can you guys still see me? Oh, there we go. Yes. So hallucinations is when AI agents or AI just makes things up, right? Again, for very high stakes processes, you don't want to use these in production, but you can start playing around with these tools and see what's possible, right? And again, for your non-important tasks, you can have a lot more flexibility. All right, so how do you get started with automations? The idea of cutting down repetitive tasks and reclaiming your time is an absolute game changer for a lot of businesses, right? But the reality is you cannot automate chaos. This is the most important thing I want you to walk away with, is if your business processes are messy, disorganized, or completely undefined, which is reality for a lot of people, automating them isn't going to magically make things better. It's like pouring gasoline on a fire. You're just going to get a bigger mess a lot faster. Automation is like a magnifying glass. If your processes are clear and clean and efficient, automation will make them smoother. If your processes are chaotic, automations will multiply that chaos. So before you even think about plugging in automations, you'll need to do the groundwork. Define your processes, eliminate inefficiencies, and standardize your operations. Okay? And to help us with that, we're going to need to map our processes. Think of it like building a house. You wouldn't start pouring concrete before you build a blueprint, right? And that's what we're going to be doing with automations. So let me show you an example of what that would look like. So this is a planning map for an AI content strategist, right? This is a workflow planning map. It will give you a bird's eye view of every step, every decision point, every handoff in your business process. This is where you will identify bottlenecks, clean up inefficiencies, and decide strategically where and what specific automations on our AI ladder are going to be the best fit. Okay, this is how you're going to make decisions strategically to help you unload some of the issues, some of the problems, some of the inefficiencies in your business. Okay, and we can see in detail what happens at every single step. In phase 1, we will define how the data will be captured. In step 2, we will define how the content will be processed, structured, and refined. And then in phase 3, we actually will have a human in the loop review for quality assurance, right? And we've defined all of that as a business process, and then we can decide what specific things we're going to automate, okay? Being able to efficiently plan automations is a critical success factor to them being successful. Automating processes, again, will not save you time. It will just accelerate the inefficiencies. So first, create your effective systems, map them out, and then determine what steps in the process could and should be automated. Okay, so here we climbed the AI ladder from simple tools to prompting to GPTs to workflow automations and AI agents. And very quickly, because I know we are running out of time, we're going to touch on building custom software. Okay, so custom software, this is where you're going to optimize your team's abilities with AI. You can eliminate entire workflows and create new revenue streams. And I'm going to share some examples for you. Let's say you're a marketer, right? And now you needed to build a dashboard for some of the problems that you're facing. You now can use tools like Lovable and Replit and Bold to actually build your own dashboard instead of trying to get a technical person to help you with it. Or let's say you needed a specific report from HubSpot and HubSpot didn't offer it. You can use no-code platforms and AI-driven coding tools to create the report yourself instead of being dependent on other people, right? And then finally, I'm going to share an example of one of my students out of TechSpeak. She was a non-technical founder, and she wanted to build a lower tiered pricing financial planning tool, and she didn't use any specific custom coding, right? She used a survey tool to gather business financial details from the businesses that she was servicing. She then connected it to Stripe to collect payments, and then used make.com with AI intelligence to generate to auto-generate the personalized budget strategy that she of course trained, right? And she created it. And then she used email to send the report to this person. And now she can serve more people at scale, and she doesn't have to be directly involved in every transaction. Okay, this is how you can use software to climb the ladder, right? Again, strategically and not using haphazard things. You don't have to do it in order, but you need to know what problems you're solving and then decide what specific things are going to be the right approach for that specific problem. Okay, again, do not start automating things that are disconnected, unstructured, right, and messy. First, create the understanding of what problems you're having, and then pick the right tools and technologies. So with that, if you guys want the slide, please go to techspeak.co/AI or scan this QR code. And I don't know if we have a couple of minutes for questions. Do we want to do that, Michelle? I'm happy to.
Yeah, we can definitely ask a couple questions. So we'll put that in the chat as well. Let's jump right in. I know we had a couple questions about, I know a lot of what we were talking about was, how you can kind of use AI to optimize, like, your own internal processes or eliminate those workflows. Is any of this applicable, to potentially creating an AI agent that would interact with consumers directly? And what's kind of like, been your experience, as someone who may be coming into this for the first time? Like, what is the buy-in there? Like, are there free tools that are available to facilitate those functions between customer and business?
So to create, let's a lot of people, like, the biggest use case for AI agents right now is chatbots, right? So this is where you can create a chatbot, put it on your website, and your customers can interact with them. And now you can use your own training data to make it smarter. You can also connect it to tools, right? So you can schedule stuff on your meeting, the calendar meeting. And again, because it's an AI agent, you don't have to predefine the workflow. This is what AI chatbots used to do in the past, where everything was predefined. Now you give your AI agent the tools, the calendar tool, the email, and whatever else, maybe a CRM. And then the customers through the chat can interact with the agent, and the agent will take that input and process smartly, depending on what it is, right? And get the information for them. But as I mentioned, there's still iffy things. There have been use cases where the AI agent would contradict or say something against the brand's voice, or not follow instructions, and you can't really force them, right? Because they're just, those are hallucinations, or it just decides to do that without any explanation. So for mission critical systems, I think it's still like that's why a lot of big agents, big enterprises are not using these tools just yet because they're very risk averse. But for startups and smaller businesses, I think that that's less of an issue. So I just say go for it, try it out and see what works. And it's all about experimenting at this point. And then the more you go away from AI agents, you have a lot more certainty. So you can use a lot of these things strategically.
Yeah, really, really helpful. And I know we had a couple other folks that were asking, from your experience, is there kind of, like what indicators within a business would, signal to a founder that it may, be the right time to implement a certain type of AI agent? Are there certain common patterns that you've seen as businesses are in those early stages?
I think it depends on the use case. So a
Yeah.
lot of people are uh, they hear AI and everybody just wants to do it, right? And just because it's there doesn't mean there's a right use case specifically for you.
Mhm.
And sometimes a lot of people call agents things that are smart automations, right? So I think knowing, and one of my goals here was to help teach people understand what is a true agent and what it's not. And
Mhm.
so I think what I would, if people learned anything from this session, and the one thing that I want to stress over and over and over again is to start with asking, what is the problem? What is the problem that I'm trying to solve? And then on any of the spectrum, you can use the faster, cheaper ways. Sometimes even an out of the box solution can help you accomplish that. And because you don't have to have any setup, that is the right tool to use for that moment in time rather than going with something more time consuming and expensive and just adding your something new to your to-do list, and then you have something called analysis paralysis and you don't take any action because it's too overwhelming, right? So I think that's why you have to understand what is the problem you're solving, what's your capacity, and what's your budget, right? So a lot of these AI consultants now will help you spend that money, but like, what is your risk appetite as well? Because all of these tools are new.
Yeah, yeah, really helpful. A lot of great points and factors for entrepreneurs to think about, ask themselves as they're figuring this piece out. Nelly, this has been so wonderful. If you had just one key takeaway or piece of wisdom that you wanted to leave with everyone here today, what would that be?
The first thing to do, starting with today's Tuesday, starting tomorrow, if you want to start working on automations and all of the things that I mentioned, start mapping out your processes. As a fractional CTO, I go into businesses, and the first thing I try to see is like, what are the processes? What are the systems that they're using? And a lot of businesses don't have systems. So before you can start using AI, you have to create systems. So starting tomorrow, you can start to map out some of the things. And for those of you who actually don't know how to do this, I'm launching a live training in about a month. So sign up for the waiting list. If you go download the slides, there's going to be a sign up for the waiting list, and I'll teach you how to do it, right? You need systems thinking, but you need to start there. That's what I would encourage everyone to do. Whether you use AI or not, you need it for your business.
Amazing. Well, Nelly, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to the community here and share your insights and just set such an amazing overview. I'm sure this has prompted a lot of folks in the audience to start to take action here. So, on behalf of the NASDAQ Entrepreneurial Center and everyone here today, we sincerely thank you for joining us.
Absolutely, Michelle. Thank you so much. Have a great afternoon and nice to meet you all. Please reach out if I can answer any questions. I'm here, and then feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn as well.
Wonderful. And to our audience, to keep it going, we'd love for you to join us for those upcoming webinars, which you can view by using those links that are going to be posted in the chat. And thank you all so much for joining us today. We look forward to welcoming you back online with us soon.